TIFU by not standing by my GF. So, this happened last night actually. But I digress. My 28 meters GF 28F and I went to Universal Studios for a friend's b-day. We were having a good time going through the mazes. Then, we decide to check out the Mummy ride. And that's where shit goes downhill. We spent about an hour and some change waiting in line. Finally, we make it to the front. The ride seats 4 people a row. So it's me, my GF, and 2 of her friends. GF goes first, and I decide to be a gentleman and let her friends get seated before me. So, the seats are as follows. Me, friend, GF. There's just one problem. My GF can't get her seat restrainer all the way down. Yes. After the events, she disclosed to me that she's pushing 300 and has never felt so big. After a minute of trying to get it down, the operator tells her that she's gotta come off so the ride can go. She obliges. The other problem is that I'm locked in my seat and can't be by her side. I'm bad with social cues, but I know I should have spoken up and asked to be let off too. For the record, the ride wasn't worth the wait. What drives me even crazier is that I had her phone on me for safekeeping. So in that moment, I know she must have really felt by herself. After the ride, I'm panicking looking for her, and find her crying on the bench. I tell her how sorry I am, and she tells me how embarrassing that was for her. It doesn't help that she's recently told me that she doesn't like how she looks. I really can't imagine how that must have felt. I just wish I could redo that moment and just be beside her. TLD or my GF was too big to get on a ride. And I deeply regret not getting off and being with her. I had a similar issue but I was too big for a ride. On our honeymoon. And it was a Harry Potter ride. My wife is nerdier than me so I was happy she could go. After a few hours in a queue, staff eyeballed me and took me aside and they were quite diplomatic. My wife wanted to not go but I convinced her to do it. And enjoy. I'd been too big for a ride before. Upper torso too chunky. But the safety cage had closed and locked. I just couldn't breathe effectively for a few minutes. They said sorry it won't lock and I asked them to try again. So 2 of them pushed until it locked. And I gave a thumbs up. It was called the cliffhanger. That was an unpleasant experience. TBH, I say this as someone that could stand to lose more than a few. I would have not wanted you to insist on getting off as well. That would only draw attention to it. I would have wanted to just quickly get off and gotten the hell out of there. It doesn't sound like she was mad you didn't off. First off, you're crazy, that ride is amazing. Cheeky wink. Second, try not to beat yourself up too bad. I'm sure she wouldn't have wanted everyone to get off. Which may have happened if you then insisted. It was just a crummy situation all around. Just be there for her now. Let her know you love her and support her. Just try to make her feel better. But I agree, I don't think it was a fuck up. It wasn't gonna feel good for her no matter what. I was sitting on a bench outside the Mummy ride waiting for my family to finish the ride. I was reading a map deciding what I wanted to do. And a bird shit on my shoulder. Tell her that story. Maybe it'll make her feel better. My mom was 400 pounds at her heaviest, probably even heavier than that. I know how uncomfortable that whole situation is. My mom didn't even try and get on most rides. And she didn't enjoy the majority of them anyway. I have been there. When my daughter was younger. We were at a theme park and she wanted to ride one of the kids-themed roller coasters. It was a normal but mild coaster with normal seats. So I thought I would be fine. We get to the ride and I can't get it patched. I have to hurry my daughter off and out the exit while she's pleading with my wanting to know why we can't ride. Fortunately, they let my wife come in through the exit and ride with her on the next set of cars. Riding coasters with her has become one of the main drivers of maintaining my weight through the years. The best parks are the ones who have test seats at the entrance to the lines, so you can be sure you're okay before committing. The fact that you acknowledged her pain is wonderful. How kind you are. And you did try to get off. Give her extra hugs and kisses and snuggles. A tip if shared already: please excuse me. In the wizarding world, rows 3 and 6 of Gringotts and the outer seats of Forbidden Forest are more accommodating for taller guests and in turn for larger bodies. When I was almost 300 at 5 feet 2, these were the seats suggested to me by staff. Guy's op did not ask for weight loss advice on behalf of his GF. Should probably focus on the fuck up. You didn't fuck up, op. It was just unlucky timing. I can be pretty slow with this sort of thing, tbh. This whole thing probably made her feel really down. I hope you can help reassure her. You seem like a good guy. Sucks and you should definitely support her, but this isn't that huge of a fuck up. Emo. As long as you were supportive after you got to her, you're fine. Nothing worth deeply regretting. She's an adult and can handle being alone for 2 minutes. Some of the rides have certain seats that are larger and can accommodate someone who is not as comfortable fitting in average seats. I've been on the Mummy a few times with someone who weighs more than your GF and they can get the lap bar down to the green area. But you need to tell the ride people you need the more accommodating seats. I think one of the test seats they have inside the ride is one of the bigger ones if she needs to. Check? I don't know why no one mentioned it when the issue came up. Ah, poor girl. I hope she's doing okay. Sad face. You didn't screw up at all. The events were not ideal and it was difficult to know how to act in the moment. The fact that you cared, worried about it, considered how she would feel without her phone, and frantically looked for at the end, this all shows that you are an excellent partner. She was understandably upset, but this is not your fault at all. I'm sure she really appreciates you. You did the right thing for you to do at that time. Horrible that happened. I'm sure it was so painful for her. At that moment you were in totally unfamiliar territory. You had no past personal experience to guide you to a decision. You picked the passive route and I think it was the perfect choice in the circumstance. I'm so sorry for her to have that embarrassment. Ugh. People are shit. Tell your GF what you told us. You can be supportive by helping her lose weight and avoid these kind of situations and more. Importantly, her health. There are some really big assholes on here. Op didn't ask for your person opinion on his GF weight. Keep those opinions to yourself. 28 and 300? There are bigger problems than this ride at Universal Studios. Not fat shaming. I should lose 70 starting now. Man, she's gotta get on top of this ASAP. That's very big for how young she is. First, do not suggest any exercise, weight loss plan, etc. It will not go well for you. You need to let her know without words that you find her attractive and make her feel special and support what she chooses to do. That being said, you didn't really screw up. She knew this was a possibility. This info is all online and I, as a overweight female, though not as big as your GF, read up on this stuff before I traveled to the parks in Florida. I even got rid of our flight of passage FastPass at Disney because I knew if this happened to me I would be upset. This is an unfortunate situation. As shitty as it is. And I am not offering advice. You are not her parent, father. This is her issue, not yours. Part of a relationship is being two strong, complete individuals. This is shitty. But it's prob the best thing that could have happened to her. It's a wake-up call. You can still be nice and supportive to her. But it's on her to fix the problem.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Eracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.